live fire King of the Hill to kick things off, which the only game type prior to the Slayer today that they were able to win was a 4-3 banger against Butler in February, where they're able to take that. So if they're going to do anything, it's got to be on something like this. King of the Hill, obviously, you give yourself away positionally. At least you sacrifice one man up to the altar to have to stand on the hill. But treat this like a Slayer if you're Montana State. You go right back to where you just won. Let's get with it. We go to game one.
No substitutes today either. Goob and Nazcast both on the squad, on the roster for the YCP Spartans. And Brash, their newest member, still making statements in the game. He used to be a mouse and keyboard player. Now he switched over to the controller, and you can see that he is just patiently waiting to grab this camo. I don't think he will be contested, as we just saw all the spawners for the Bobcats make their way towards Hill.
You got a 4-2 Slay diff right now, and you prep to be able to get that first hill. But you also either sacrifice yourself to go over into green, or you get mean with it and you can pick up that camo. Quick trade, as they're going to hold at least that perch from on top of bridge. Frash is just rotating around and very safely. You have the S7 that's kind of popped up in here. They do have the QT online, mostly just to give themselves a quick rotate from top side and bottom side pillar. But otherwise, Bobcats have been reset twice right now, Revanite. They keep grouping up. They can't really dominate any of these lanes to try and get this hill broken open. It's all but secured here for YCP.
And that is kind of their play style. They just group together, they bunch up, and they try and like trade out each other's damage and bait and switch. But unfortunately, that strategy not working very well against a team like the YCP Spartans. You know, they're number 4 out of the entire list of teams that we have in College Halo, and it's going to be very, very difficult for that kind of a strategy to work, especially with players like Goob and Nazcast, who are already just making statements across the map.
Had one match loss so far. They've gone 13-4 across their games, and so I could spit stats, numbers, and all that stuff at you, but it will only matter when we really get to the end of the road. This is a top 5 spot they're trying to at least protect for the time being, and Montana State hasn't shown really a bluster to muster to try and make anything happen. They do attempt to return to center off of the would-be sticky. That's Nazcast you're online with. You get to hear him spit hot tunes and hot rhymes. This time around, he's just making sure to keep these guys at spitting distance. As he keeps repulsing them, eventually they're caught from behind. But this second hill has been a ton of progress in favor of the Spartans.
Thought I was gonna get a little Hawk reference in there as well, but
no.
Maybe we'll work our way up to that one in just a little bit. But as you guys can see, Frash already hungry for his second camo of the game. Will grab it, and as he does so does the rest of his team, grabbing that second hill. And Montana State once again just struggling against this onslaught from the Spartans.
See, I respect that you would expect some references like that from me, but I'm just not made for podcast work, you know? I'm just here to be able to see some gameplay come up, but not Frash taking on anyone that wants to be able to fight him from Keydor. So far, 2 open hills. It's taken all of, 55 seconds of neutral time. Quick rotations from out of YCP. This is a day at the office, and they want to get home, and they want to get done with this one. They've got still the 2-peat to have to run through the Tigers in just a little bit, but you're going to slay one cat first, and Bobcats right now to Montana State are finding it very difficult to get onto the board. They have 7 slays total. That is only 1 more than Nazcast has alone.
They do, and Goob getting the top gun. You know, I really wish they would bring back that medal, right? Like, it was one of those unsung medals that you only saw a few times if you were, you know, one of those players that was pretty decent at the game, you know. But Goob, definitely one of the players that I love to watch on YCP. So the Bobcats once again finding themselves hill-less so far, 3-0 to the Spartans. And honestly, this is kind of what we expect from a top-tier team like YCP.
It's efficiency. They're cutting off every single rotational lane that Bobcats are trying to stand up. 11-3 is Goob, by the way. They just put themselves down in the bucket to at least be the 3rd. And a couple fall out. You're seeing hill progress for the first time in forever out of Montana State. I don't want to rag on them. They've definitely been finding it difficult to work with. A no-scope, soft slide, easy dirt, big wins. Able to find 1 frag, collecting an assist on the other one just as progress was starting to get made out of Montana State. Nazcast throws a microphone in the form of a 50 cal at him, and then the Spartans take back over.
Nazcast, one of those players who competed in the not so long ago DCA Open that took place a week ago, I believe. So already making, putting out names, putting out damage as well, and just playing very efficient, very peak Halo as Goob gets himself a double kill as well. 13, 3, and 3 as we just see a bunch of threes across the board. If we get a 7 in deaths, that could be a very elite scoreline. I got references too.
You're with it. All right, that's fine. All right. First game goes 4-0, and we talk about resumes. Nazcast was also, I think that I feel like it should be mentioned that they were competing into that DreamHack Open. I like that we put the number 4 next to York, and then we're just like, you don't need to know what Montana State is. Don't even. You don't need to know that. But we go over to Aquarius Slayer. It's as even as you can get, except for one thing. There's a camo that's out there, and a heat wave. If everyone wants to touch it, no one is. But camo is made for information on this map. It's also a playmaking tool, much like it is in several different places, like we get right now as Caminator does at least go and become the exterminator of one. 3-1 early start, and the Spartans have already pinned back the Bobcats.
Pinned back and Gamer Changer, no shield's going to be an easy cleanup for Nazcast as well, and already the pinch is happening as we have Caminator who's just hanging out in their midst. A Spectre, a Wraith in the ninth will take down 2 as well. A nice little layup as Ritzier unfortunately did not have any shields to be able to fight that duel. And down by 3 are the Bobcats as the Spartans look to continue their pace of play from game 1.
As fast as it's been into this opener, as we finally get our first 10 kills and 70% of them go over to the Spartans, it's also been a much more separated venture when it comes to the overall Slayer play on Aquarius. You don't get to have the power weapons. There really isn't much to look at to them, and so you're much more dependent upon what you go with into the sandbox in your hands. So far, the Spartans have dominated at least mid-map play, as you're going to see this upper ledge from out of yellow utility. Game Changer has no idea that someone is nearby collecting their body onto the score sheet. And that's going to be the first death to Caminator, who was looking for a first life killing spree. But 10-4, as the Spartans continue to just run it down, and Montana State, they got to show that previous Slayer in that first series was not a fluke.
I think that strategy that they had worked better against a team like RIT. Not going to work very well against a team like the York College Spartans, who, they're just a different level of players. Remember, they got that they're ranked, right? You said it earlier. The Bobcats, unfortunately, are not ranked, and the Spartans are, and it's showing off in this kind of game right now. As well, we get a cheeky back smack onto Nazcast. See you later, buddy. Better luck next time. I'm just kidding. We all love you, Nazcast. But again, the Bobcats just have to win more of those plays, and their defensive, non-aggressive play style isn't going to work that great in this game. But we do see Ritzier Axe, who is going to win a nice duel against Caminator, taking him down as well. But as we take a look, it's another camo in the hands of Spartans.
Second camo, and 100% of them so far have gone the York way, so trying to stay crispy with it. This is the same positioning that they got it on Caminator last time around, but they're going to go to the opposite side of the map as they've already crested into 20, whereas Montana State is praying for some double digits now. Only seeing the one. They're going to call out some contact. Ritzier Axe does go down. No one responds. It's a double kill, and then the extra becomes an assist. Nazcast finding them for free, hoping to hide in the corner, running from Ghost. Mid-Oreo Crisis. I love the name, but the game has got to pick up.
Game picks up, and just like that, you can see they're already on the spawners inside of Yellow Gen, and they have nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, nowhere to flee to. One did manage to get all the way out into Yellow Base and runs into the open arms of the rest of his team as Frash going to take down one, but he gets behind a corner just before Nazcast once again looking to get that Top Gun medal for himself this time.
Nice double kill. Nazcast trying to give them the wiggles, and they make it work. So far, that is 3 in the bag right now for Nazcast before they eventually drop their life. They're at 10-2, making efficient work from off of each of these killing spree style. And guess what? It's collected much the same from his teammate. 10-4, good buddy, out of Guba. So, Montana State looking up, possibly having to fire up a grill in favor of the Spartans, see if they can drop some charcoal on it just to, help them out. But for the time being, YCP is just running through them. Hot knife meet butter, dead cat meet roadkill.
Yeah, I just love having you on a desk. Yeah, right. I'm just enthralled. I'm captivated like a cobra listening to a sweet, sweet song inside of a hot Middle Eastern bazaar, you know? And I'm entranced. I'm enthralled by it every single time it happens. But you're absolutely right. Stakes look like they might be on the menu in this game number 2 as the Spartans are not letting up on this pressure at all. And Montana State are just left reeling. Nobody is going to be safe from the attacks as Midoriya Crisis not even able to take down Thrash as Nazcats repeats, re-challenges the last shot, taking down Nazcats, sorry, as Midoriya Crisis stays alive, but the repeat from Not So Thrash gonna take him down instead. We have another camo. Odds on who is going to grab it?
Probably YCP. It will be a three-peat of Goose Boys, and yes, it is. Gooba takes it this time. So 3 separate players have gotten the camo. For here for the Spartans out of good old York from Pennsylvania. Game changer. Well, your game's about to be changed into a respawn screen. So they have the respawn simulator and all 4 down. Did he just frag his teammate, Gooba? You are so cheeky, I swear to God. Okay, 13-5, why not? But YCP, they know they can play with it because they are up by 30. They might be able to clear them out. One last team wipe. Macaroni trying to survive. Lots of tags out from Nazcast. He's hoping to get that assist medal. That's a nice back tap. A double kill. Concaminator confirm the triple. Well, there's only 1 man left in the corner. They give Casper the unfriendly Spartan in the form of at least 1 man trying to come up and finish the job. That's a stake. That's YCP. That's a 2-0. That's match point.
The steaks are like, you know, thinner than paper, right? Like you can only cook them one way and that has to be well done. Beef jerky, by the way. That's another well done steak, right?
Whoa, you called beef jerky a steak? Hold on.
It's meat, brother, okay?
Yeah.
Like you can get them in like
does meat equal
bites
steak
that
to
fit
you?
in the palm of your
What?
hand.
That is not.
What else are they? What do you call
is
steak
bacon
bites? What do
just
you call
crispy
steak?
steak?
Man? What are they?
All right. That's fine. Yeah, okay. This is the same guy that believes cereal is soup. Okay. Is taco a sandwich to you?
It's in a liquid.
Okay.
Going back to the game, though. Back to the game. Let's relax. Let's reel it back, all right? Like, let's come back to, you know, come back down to earth. We'll take that up next time, all right, Monkey Man? But for this game, your college already looking like they want to try to get that triple cap. However, the Bobcats are going to try to take A, but Goob makes his presence known on the map and then flees. He runs away, deep in the night.
Nazcast on the pickup of that S7. Remember, there was no power weapons on that previous Aquarius map, so now you get to play with more sandbox this time around. Nice for Pulse. Creating some space. Biggest thing that Montana State ends up suffering with is what do they do when they have to move more than just W or S if you're on the keyboard game. But for this time around, they do at least unlock boxes. So they're going to be up towards that, like, that front A area. But for B and C, this is a good lockdown position because it gives you access to the top side of the map. Red is a really accessible rotational piece, but that also means that you can fight from it from ice. So Montana State, at least, well, for the semblance of a second, had a chance to score. Let's continue on with the Spartans.
I mean, I'm just looking to see if Montana State can take a hill and get a couple of points. They might actually be able to do so. They get the 1. But they don't get 2 as the York College Spartans shut that down very, very quickly, already attacking the A hill, taking over cargo, and Nazcast just doing the work with S7 inside of Bottom Bridge is definitely going to be and has been consistently a thorn in the side. 4-0, looking for his 5th to make it a killing spree.
And the most disrespectful way to utilize at least your final 2 bullets inside of an S7, you just treat it like a shotgun and go and challenge directly into Hill with it. Mid-Oreo Crisis trying to win a war on 2 fronts will take neither. 2 down now, make it 3 for Montana State as they will lose out on that C Hill. Thrash is going to try and flip that one as they go for challenging the top side of the map. They actually are going to try and double flip like they did again. They had taken A and B last time around. Looks like B has been cleared out. They will try to form up, but again, losing that flank positioning. And now we go right back to triple stack status here from out of the Spartans.
Patient Halo from the Spartans. I mean, what else can you say, right? They know exactly where they're going to spawn, and they're already there to meet the Bobcats head on whenever they do spawn. And we do see 2 go down, 3 go down as well. Gamer Changer just respawned, already receiving shots from Gooba, and finished off by Nazcast as Nazcast once again looking to try and beat his teammate Caminator to get that first to 10 medal, the Top Gun medal, but has to get a couple of kills in order to get there. And Nazcast, we already know just how quickly he flies across the map.
He's absolutely blitzing into places. Goal sidekick, trying to at least lop off some heads. As Nazcast has to rotate up
skin,
top
by the
side.
way.
Solid skinning, if you will. They do at least land one. That's a melee trade out, but again, it's if you start from B, you're left in a split decision, and you have to control spawns if you're doing that in a big way. Killing spree from off of Caminator. Need to collect a double kill. Does it easily. Another trip cap coming up, and that's where Montana State kind of gets lost in the sauce here, Revanite. Revanite, rather. Caminator, Revaniter, whichever. But they start at B. They want to be able to finally get hands on that S7, or at least have one. But B is such an open bait lane if you're going to go onto strongholds, whereas you need to be making sure that one team is sequestered to one half of the map if you're going to do so aggressively.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Hail. And honestly, it's like, you know, getting a couple of kills, but definitely, just like you said, it's kind of getting lost in the sauce. They spawn, they try to attack 2 hills instead of focusing on one, and arguably, they probably get on top of these hills a little too early and just alerting like a sonar ping where they are for the YCP Spartans, and they come flying in like a set of torpedoes, and really not much that the Bobcats can do. 185 as we get another triple cap. So they're going to get double points every single second. But, you know, what else can they do against this onslaught from this top 4 team? And it's just difficult. And the Bobcats just have yet to find an answer.
I don't mind the double side attack, but it also has to come with some solid slaying. And right now, that's been the difference maker. 11 slays in total here for the Bobcats. And, I mean, York nearly has that per player across all of YCP. So, unfortunate for him. It looks like this one is going to end up being a short day and a repeat of what the last time that these two were able to link up when it was early pod play in the first half of the season. Montana State has a massive hill to climb, and Strongholds is not one that you want to bring, well, any other shoe than the ones made for hiking. Frash is going to try and join the double-digit club, finding it difficult to see a target. They've got one next to him. Hey, 10 on the board. Everyone's got that for the Spartans.
Everyone's got that, and already capping that B hill, so no triple stack for YCP just yet, but Macaroni, he has to make himself scarce. He has to run and hide, as already the members of the Spartans did just 2v1, and that's crazy over in bottom ice. Caminator going through the reload animations. But again, with a double kill from the rest of the Spartans over in that kill feed will seal the deal. They don't even need that triple cap. 250-1. At least it wasn't a 0.